talk to my family and how I talk to young people. When the sister talked about how her feelings, she had certain feelings and how someone's going to tell her, just because she's 15, that don't mean she knows what her feelings are. She's 15. You know what I mean? How are you going to say to someone you don't know what you're feeling? And so I just think that sometimes, unfortunately, and I respect parents, and I'm a mentor to a lot of young people, but I think that some of us who are older adults, we don't evolve, and we tell the young people to evolve. We said it again, some of us never evolve, but we're telling young people to evolve. And so it goes both ways. If you want young people to evolve, you also got to be willing to evolve as well. Are you with me? Now here's my mama, who's now in her early 70s. She's still talking to me in my 40s like I'm 5 years old. That's unacceptable. You know what I mean? And I love my mother. The book is dedicated to my mother. My mother's in the first part of the book. She's throughout the whole book because she's the single most important influence in my life. But I've made a conscious decision that I don't want my child or children to talk about me the way I talked about my mama. You know what I'm saying? Or to feel about me the way I felt about my mother at certain points. Which means I got to deal with my own mental health and spiritual health. This is a challenge for us as a community because we think that there's only one way to parent, to be hard all the time. Or if we're showing love and affection, we must have something be weak, or we're so crazy stuff like, well, they're acting white, quote unquote. No, what we're saying is there's a diversity of ways to parent your child. And I don't think a child should dislike a parent or an older adult. I don't think we should be in fear of older adults. If we're honest about it, how many of us at some point in our lives have been terrified by an older adult? Now look at those hands. There's something wrong with that. Just like we were terrified of segregation and terrified of that slave master. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to pass the mic.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael. I'm going to try to keep this short. But in understanding everything that the youth over here was saying, I'm only 22 years old, so I probably should be standing on that side.
We're on over, baby.
But at 22, I've learned a lot, and I've experienced a lot of things in my life. Some things that I shouldn't have learned until later in life, but it happened, oh well. Growing up in Baltimore City, like my two brothers, being in Cherry Hill and South Baltimore and all over the place, I've met people, I've done things that I shouldn't have been doing, and there's always been a repercussion for it. And the biggest problem for me has been communication. And I feel as though a lot of times as a young man, as a father, as a friend, as a best friend, as a son, as a brother, I don't take the time to communicate, to listen. I talk, and I talk, and I talk, and I hear other people, but I listen to respond and not to hear what someone else is really saying. And I know a lot of times us as people in general, as human beings, we listen just to respond, just to have something to say. But we really don't listen to what the other person is saying. When I was younger, for 18 years of my life, my mother, she raised 10 kids. She gave birth to 5, but she raised 10 kids. Wow. And being the youngest, I know that I was to do that. That's what Mike wanted to do. She wanted me to go to college when I graduated high school. I didn't do that. I went off to the military because it was what I wanted to do. But everything that she told me in those 18 years of hatred that I had towards her, it came back, and now it's coming to me now. And now I'm starting to understand some of the things that we were saying, and I felt
just told them, you're going to do right, and you're not going to be a failure, and you're going to bring this grade up, and I was just always dictating. Had their mans being buried, and things like that. So now when I think about it, they do have it hard. So I can't keep talking about my struggles because they have struggles too.
That's right.
So I vow today to be more understanding and sympathetic of your feelings.
That's an action step. You got the mic.
I just need to listen more because sometimes I am a hard head. What the reality is, instead of being in a playboy time. I mean, playing all the time and just not taking things seriously, because there is
the journey never stops. So headwind, I guess a headwind behind me or something like that. I'm 26, so you guys need to be prepared. It's not a joke. If you want it, they're not going to hand it to you. You need to take it. I go to work every day for the past 4 years. Because they have busted their, butts to get there, and they are not going to hand it to you because they look like you. And no one needs to hand it to you. You can earn it. So, I mean, this is what I tell to my younger cousin.